I'm really happy to see you all here, and I'm welcoming everyone who is watching us through the live stream. So today, we are having our RevDev meetup in São Paulo, hosted by Revolut. I would say it's our premiere in Brazil. My name is Svetlana Kochkina, and I'm head of employee branding team at Revolut. I will be hosting this event today. Apart from me, there will be 3 brilliant speakers today on the stage. First, there will be our fearless leader and CEO of Revolut in Brazil, Glauber Mota. He will be guiding you through different facts about Revolut and about our plans in Brazil. Our second speaker will be Boon Pek, head of engineering, and he will be taking us on an engineering journey. And after a short networking session, where I hope everyone will be talking, not like hiding in corners, we'll have our third speaker, head of product, Martin Mexia, and he will be telling you how we are reimagining everything connected at Revolut. So please enjoy your evening. One moment that I wanted to share with you, like a part of our agenda. We will be having questions today, Q&A sessions after each presentation. So please scan this QR code. It's open to everyone who is here and to everyone who is watching the live stream. There you can submit your questions, and after each speech we can answer several of these questions. And in the end of our event, we are going to have a panel discussion with our speakers and also one more guest speaker. Also, we'll be covering some of the questions connected to fintech, Revolut, maybe some recruitment questions, so please submit them. So let's start. I'm welcoming Glauber here at the stage.
Fala pessoal, boa noite. Tudo bem com vocês? Estou muito feliz de ter todos vocês aqui, mas eu infelizmente não vou poder falar muito em português. Vou switch to English because this is the language we speak in Revolut. We are a global company. We're going to see a bit of us today, and I hope we can enjoy the conversation after this session as well. I'm going to be around to receive questions and ask, and then yes, we can talk in Portuguese as well. Estou aprendendo a lidar com a tecnologia. Okay, so the name in my panel was Expanding Horizons to talk about how Revolut is positioned worldwide in our plans for Brazil. But the best way to do it is following the protocol and the process Revolut has, and we have a tradition to present ourselves with a fun fact every time we introduce ourselves to people. So, but before that, my name is Glauber Mota. I'm the CEO for Brazil. I have more than 18 years of experience in financial services. I've been doing retail, corporate investment banking, private banking in Brazil and overseas. And I would say that leveraging all the experiences I have along my career, Revolut is the sweet spot to develop mostly of what I have been learning on many of these experiences, even locally and abroad. And as a fun fact for you guys, I hold a black belt degree in Taekwondo. It was my profession before joining financial services, but I have to make a choice because there were too many people kicking my head, so I think I'm gonna need my head for a while, so I stopped doing this. And I have the chance to travel around more than 50 countries and continue doing it, testing Revolut everywhere. So this is one of the best parts of working in such international company, that you can work and be everywhere we want and leverage quality life while develop something meaningful along the process. So a bit about Revolut. So key numbers about Revolut. One number that's not there in this page, that's we are already in 38 countries. So we are a truly global company with the most, say, reviewed and downloaded financial app in at least 11 to 18 countries around the globe, depending on the way you count, top 1, top 3, or whatever. But This is built in a company that today have a valuation of $45 billion, going towards to the next steps, probably with an IPO soon. But we have built that up to 50 million clients on the retail side, more than 500,000 clients on the business side, still growing 20K per week over there, and more or less 1.2 million clients per month currently on the retail side. Our product works in more than 160 countries, so virtually everywhere in the world, and we're still growing. It's just the beginning of our journey. We still, in my view, scratching the surface of the potential Revolut can unlock over worldwide, because we have mastered the way to scale and to build a good financial products and to establish as a financial institution, regulated financial institutions, every single country that we establish ourselves. And our product always receive amazing reviews. And by the way, our best channel of client acquisition is referral, meaning clients love our product, refer our product, and then you grow from there. This is a picture just to give you a sense that we have a serious mission to grow everywhere we go with the most highest standard of regulation and financial services. We are operated as a regulated bank in more than 30 countries already and growing. So for example, in Brazil, following the steps of the local regulation, we already established as an SCD, that's a financial institution regulated by the Brazilian Central Bank, and naturally, while we scale, probably the next steps for us is gonna be a bank here as well. We're in the process on that path. We already got the banking license in Mexico. That's our northern market here in Latin America that we're already building something. We recently announced Colombia as the next country in the region, but we have plenty of other expansion countries going in all regions of the world, including APAC, Middle East, and everywhere. So, take a look on the slides. This is our mission and our vision for the product. And if you could read, because the lights are not the best at the moment, you would see that we are a very product-driven company, trying to build the best solution for our clients, making things to solve everything they need on the financial services for retail, individuals, and also for businesses. All that in few clicks with a similar solution, fast, cheaper than every other solution. Meaning we aim to be the no-brainer solution for everybody that wants to solve their financial needs. So all things money for everybody, retail and businesses. This is quite important because we have two big ecosystems connected, retail and businesses. And the range of products that we developed, all of them, we could not exhaust this in a short conversation like that because it's many. We are a real financial super app with everything going to payments, savings, investments, insurance, depending on the region, up to lifestyle products that, by the way, Martin and Boon is going to talk about it very soon to you and deep dive on that, on how they do behind the scene delivering this amazing product. On the business side, we do the same for the companies, facilitating cross-border, dashboard for management of their solutions on the company, corporate cards, and many other solutions, all types of payments for companies as well. We try as much as possible interconnect these two ecosystems where companies there can advance salary for their employees who use Revolut. Revolut clients could leverage on discounts on their companies and so on. So building a truly ecosystem connected worldwide everywhere. And this is a bit of the screens that we have developed here in Brazil. We decided to start in Brazil in a strategy where we focus in a niche product on the cross-border businesses, opening multi-currency account for clients hold like foreign currencies that, as you know, regulation in Brazil do not allow us to have foreign currency here. We find a way to open accounts offshore for clients where they can have multi-currency account, transact the way you want in an easy peer-to-peer or with third parties in a seamless and low-cost manner. Besides that, we already developed a solution for crypto, to easy access for retail and crypto, and now we are closing the gap, developing all the products that we do have in the UK, in Europe, in the mature markets, where we have a dominant presence, in Brazil as well. So stay tuned, because very soon we're gonna see the whole range of products that we do have in Europe, also in Brazil, that's quite close to the launch. And I count with some of you guys that are gonna join our company to develop the next step, and then we really conquer this market and many other markets around the world. This is a bit of who built that, right? As soon as you join, we're gonna be part of a 10,000 people community that is developing everywhere, spread out in so many countries that I cannot even count, with a very diverse group of professionals of all types. On average, we do have 4 nationalities per team, more or less, and overall in the company is more than 100 nationalities. We do have Brazilians who work for our company abroad, remotely. We do have Brazilians who moved to work there in Europe or many other locations for Revolut Global, or even moved there to work, to be close to our head office, and work for Brazil. We do have people here working locally for the regulated entity. We do have also for the technology company that we do have in Brazil, and many others. So there are plenty of opportunities in many countries and many places in all types of functions. As I mentioned, we have started as a niche product and now covering the gap for the range of all products that Revolut has abroad. Today, we have 140 people already hired in Brazil, and many others around the globe helping us on the project. More or less 50 of those are fully dedicated for our regulated financial institution here. The other 90 is working for us, or sometimes developing for Brazil, and when they finish the work, they develop for other countries. So for example, we do have many of the people in the central offices helping us to develop the core of the product. Everything that's replicable and it can scale is worked through the centralized processes and decentralized teams everywhere. But there are some specifics that's nurtured only for Brazil. So for example, Pix. We do have Pix here. We don't have Pix exactly the same way in other locations. So we do develop here as well. Once the team have developed Pix, so they delivered, now they shift gears, and now they're developing instant payments in Mexico. As soon as they close Mexico, they're gonna do everywhere else. So plenty of, one thing that I can assure is there is no limit for the way we could develop the product. And by the way, this is interconnected on this group of, bigger group of opportunities. We do have the engineering side with Android, web, iOS, Java, Python, data, and DevOps as the main ones that we concentrate the people. Growth, operations, governance and control, and corporate in many other opportunities that we have everywhere. One tip that I could give for you and for the people online is stay tuned on our career website. You can filter there remote Brazil or any other location out of your interest. Every day you have new things there. And then you can choose and select which of these positions have more fit of you, your own ambitions, your expertise, and then you can cherry pick the ones that work best for you. But of course, we do have recruiters and many people using Revolut t-shirt here today. Leverage the time to discuss with them opportunities and other possibilities for you along the process. Nothing would happen if you don't operate with a very strong culture. And this is something that we value a lot in Revolut. I'm gonna say something that probably the recruiters don't like. At the beginning, I hate our recruitment process because it's a long process. That's a hard one to pass. But along the way, I learned how to value that process because everybody is selected for their skills, for their cultural alignment, and for an alignment for their own ambition within the company. So once they pass and you start your first day, you're already unequal to everybody. So you have proved yourself along the process. So the type of responsibility, the way you're gonna interact with other teams is one-on-one. It's like you wanna equal on everybody. You don't have to take a longer process to prove yourself again. And of course, you're gonna be measured for the reward and for the responsibilities and accountability as everybody in Revolut. So there's a very good output of this long and hard process that is you're gonna be leveraging your career faster inside Revolut once you enter. These are our core pillars, but better way to explain you our core pillars is supposed to be with a video, and you can hear in the words of our own employees the way they see our culture. No. Space not working.
This product is so accessible and touches everyone in the world.
It's not enough to just be a little bit better, a little bit cheaper, or a little bit better design. We have to go way further.
When I was 7 years old, my dream was to become an astronaut.
We tend to call ourselves the rocket ship.
We want to go like full speed ahead.
It's a rocket ship that you are putting while you're flying.
We wouldn't be where we are today if not for our culture.
It's a way of communicating what we stand for.
Dreaming to do something bigger than yourself.
Never settle.
That's the philosophy here at Revolut.
It's a great phrase to unblock all your fears.
Everything we do could still be improved.
I like to always set a target that's ambitious, that I know it will stretch me.
I never want to stop seeing what's ahead and what can be better.
It's just fun.
Everyone should be excited in being part of a dream team.
When you're building something, you're building it with a great team of people.
It's about succeeding as a unit. We have people at Revolut from all around the world.
From Singapore, China, Revolut doesn't see borders when it comes to like bringing the best of the best.
Everyone knows like the NBA 1992, right? That was the dream team. This is where you have the best players.
Think deeper. I don't know whether it's just that I wore that cap that says think deeper for a while, 3 minutes straight.
It's about always finding a better way.
Not always jumping to conclusions, and always asking why. Why is someone doing something?
What is the root cause of the problem you're trying to solve, using data as a way of creating something impactful?
It's a North Star.
Always having a vision of where we need to go.
Deliver wow.
Deliver wow.
Wow, you have to stand and like deliver wow.
To me means putting customer first.
Putting a smile on people's faces when they use something.
Building products that are simple, elegant, so they continue using the product again and again and again.
If Get It Done was an animal, it would be a beaver. Gets a lot of stuff done in the middle of the night.
We're trying to go quicker than other people.
You can actually accomplish a lot of interesting and meaningful projects in a period of days.
Gives like this crazy sense of like accomplishment every time you get the project done.
Without people, there's no Revolut.
Those values have to be everywhere, in everyone.
It gives you your identity, your DNA. How we solve problems, how we create products.
If you don't think deeper, if you settle, if you don't deliver well, and you don't work as a dream team, you cannot achieve anything.
This company was founded on a mission to really make things better for the world and disrupt this industry that was so old and complex.
As soon as you believe that almost anything is possible, it really unlocks all possibilities in the world.
Great. Great. So this is not just a video made to talk about our culture. This is really how you feel when you work in there. Like I have worked to Itaú, I have worked to BTG Pactual, I have worked to many other companies, and really the feel is like this. Like the way you interact with the teams and you develop things and make good things happen is like that. And talking about people, we do value a lot diversity of all types of backgrounds, all types of preferences, and we do have a really dedicated chapters to develop this even more along our engagement activities. We do have chapters dedicated for women, for pride, for reach, when you can get mentoring. We can interact with people around the world. You can have different backgrounds together. And we have learned how to perceive the value of this collective genius of people from everywhere, all type of backgrounds working together. But then come to the recruitment part, right? What are the priorities that you have today in terms of positions and hiring at the moment? We do have plenty, as you can see down there, many other areas. And this event specifically have a concentration on software engineering, on the back-end side, mainly on Java, Python, on the front end, iOS, web, Android, and many others, including DevOps and data. Really, there are opportunities for all types of careers. Leverage the time that you have here today, tomorrow, and over a bit of the weekend for the ones who have enter in contact as well, to talk with the recruiters, to talk with the tech team that's around, and explore possibilities for you. And this could be in Brazil or abroad. Our headquarters in the UK, we do have an amazing office there, and also we're going to have an upgrade beginning of the next year. If you don't see yet, look on Google how it looks like, because it's amazing. I'm very excited to be there. We do have tech hubs on Porto, Barcelona, Bucharest, and Cracovia, and also many other expansion countries with possibilities to work with, including Brazil, where for sure many of you guys can fit as well. So the product owner at Revolut, it's a quite important role. We do have the UX related ones, the technical ones, and better than myself to explain about this, we're gonna have Boon, that's an engineer working in our lifestyle group, and also Martin, that's gonna develop it even further. But in a few words, the UX product owner is gonna make the magic happen in all client-facing activities and make sure they have the best perception and usability in our product. The back-end guy is gonna make it happen on the backstage, make sure it's seamless operation with the best perception, low friction, and the best performance for our clients. And all this, you operate more or less as an entrepreneur in-house, because you're gonna own the product own the product from beginning to end, on the whole life cycle. So you manage people. You are responsible and accountable for the good and for the lessons learned along the process to develop a new product. But of course, Boon and Martin is gonna develop it for you further in the next session. For the ones that are curious that where you guys could work, so Brazil, of course, is the best place, I would say. So because you're going to work with myself, my team, mostly based in São Paulo, Rio, and any other place in Brazil that you want, because we do work remotely, we do work hybrid, or if you prefer, you can meet us on the office. But if somehow you would like to have an international experience, for these people in the engineering side, we already have possibilities for relocation, mainly on Portugal, Spain, Poland, and the company is going to help you to do this transfer if you want. Of course, the best ones going to have even further opportunities to choose other places. But I would say the most important thing is take the process serious, pass, do a great job, because then once you are in Brazil or any other places, plenty of opportunities are open. Like, it's not common, it's not rare that people move for different teams, that they change country, that they do different things. So we do have 2.5 years more or less of operation in Brazil with the bigger group, right? We launched the product 1.5 years ago. In this short period, we do have POs that was in our team in Brazil and now are living in Barcelona working for us. We do have people on operations that help to build the foundations of Brazil that now working for the crypto exchange based in Brazil, working for London. We do have people from Brazil that moved to Portugal. We do have people from other places coming here. So it's really a seamless experience and plenty of possibilities for everyone who wants to. We value the performance, we value the skills, we value that you're happy and balance your life the way you want. And more important, that you stay with us, because we are global, you can be global as well. How's the process? Here is a highlight for the process on the engineering dev side, right? with mainly 4 stages, with the initial call where the recruiters help you to identify your skills, the company challenges, the fit between both, and then you move for the next phase. Also, you can develop it more talking to them. They're all here in the first row, so when you on the interval, you can ask them questions. Then you move for the second stage, the technical interview. That can vary depending on the position that you are looking for, but mainly it's there are live coding, there are home tasks, there are other types of interactions to show up your skills and make sure you have the right fit for certain positions, or perhaps if you have to move to another one. Then you're gonna have the chance to meet the potential team that you're gonna work with, and also to validate if it's the right one, that have a match between you both, right? Between the team and you. And then if yes, good, you go to this offer stage. If perhaps they identify is a better fit for another team, you just move for another team, and so on. Most important part, if you don't pass, it's also good, because then you identify that it was not a match, it's not the best position for you guys, and then perhaps you're gonna find something else, or you're gonna find another thing to do, also in Revolut, because we have plenty of opportunities. Finally, what you get from this, right? I'm going to summarize because it has a long list here, and it varies country to country. So specific, but there are certain things that are common to everybody. We like people skin the game. We like people who are going to grow the company together with us. So equity is a big part of it. Like you're going to have a piece of the company on your beginning. So most probably you're going to receive a sign-on equity upon you join us, and then you develop and perform. You're also going to be eligible for performance bonus, where you also receive other part of equity. All of them, there are rules on how is the vesting and how you take liquidity of it. But I can say that's better than average of the other companies that we have in Brazil, because we accumulate faster the vesting part. We can give you details afterwards. With the very much competitive salaries, the best medical care wherever you are. And the good thing is all the benefits that we have, it's for, we try to do the best of both in any country that you are. So I'm certain that's benefits, salary, and total pack is quite competitive, with the possibility also, independent of which location you are, you could work from abroad up to 120 days per year. So if you like to experience other countries and be traveling around, it's part of our pack of benefits that you are allowed to do, and you could visit any of our offices as well.
Hi. So let me give an introduction about myself. My name is Boon, and I've been working at Revolut since April 2020. I am currently the head of engineering for lifestyle products. Some fun fact about me. So Glauber has been to 50 plus countries. I've only been to 30, but I like to still consider myself quite an avid traveler. I'd like to give you a history about my progression and my career through Revolut as well. So I joined Revolut in April 2020, and I joined as a backend engineer. Since then, I have worked across about 6 teams or more. And what I want to show here is that Revolut is a great place when it comes to internal mobility, and you can also build and launch multiple products super quickly in this company. Prior to being a backend engineer at Revolut, I was a cloud platform engineer at a grocery delivery company called Ocado. And back there, I worked on cloud platform automation, managing AWS systems, building tools and frameworks to allow developers to build cloud native applications. And prior to that, I was at the University of Cambridge, where I learned about machine learning, applying it to the interface between the human world and the digital world. So I love tech at heart, and I'm so happy to be here to present to you what I do at the company. So before I start talking about scalability, I would like to tell you more about my department, which is lifestyle. So if you think about traditional fintech, generally you think about things like making payments to friends. You think about budgeting and analytics, or savings, maybe even crypto. the lifestyle department's focus is on building products that allow our customers to effortlessly enjoy their money. So, the way we do this is we focus on two parts of the product. The first one is building awareness. So within the lifestyle department, we have multiple products spanning from travel to shopping to loyalty. And we use the awareness part of the product, so advertising, to promote these to our customers and to build awareness. Once we have that, we convert them through our loyalty program, and that is where the RevPoints product comes in. So what is our philosophy behind building these products? The first thing we do is we look at where our customers spend their money. We have data from customer behavior. We try to understand what market, what products we need to build. And once we do that, we build products that focus on that delight the customers. So on the right-hand side, you can see an example of the product that we have. It's called Stays. It is a native product that customers can browse for their hotels, and it's integrated seamlessly into the Revolut ecosystem. This provides a delightful experience for our customers without having to leave the application. And once we do that, we, let's say, hook them in and delight them and build loyalty through our loyalty platform. So overall, this is what we call creating a positive flywheel effect. And because we build delightful experiences for our customers, this ends up attracting more customers to the platform, and we engage them. So it's a positive feedback loop that brings more and more benefits to the to customers and to the company. So let me move on now to the topic of the conversation. What does engineering at scale mean? Well, when we talk about engineering at scale, I think most engineers will think about scaling for more users. So I've been at Revolut for almost 5 years, and when I joined, we just had 10 million customers. Today, we're proud to announce that we have 50 million customers, across multiple countries. And with this many customers, we have more throughput, but also more data to process, which means needing, to build solutions that are more performant. And scaling for more customers means, how do we build, how can we make sure that the products we build can serve more customers without, linearly or exponentially increasing cost in terms of resources? The other topic that you might not really think about when we talk about engineering at scale is how do you build scale to more products? So as we, one of the things that I'm really proud of at Revolut is that we launch products at breakneck speed. So I would say the average time it takes from product idea to scoping to execution and delivery is between 1 and 2 quarters. So every team ships at a very fast pace. And this is something I continue to be impressed by. When I joined the company, it was very small. It's easy to make changes. But even today, we're still shipping things very quickly. And with more products, there's more complexity. And the key here is we need to have solid foundations to continue building new products across multiple geographies whilst at the same time maintaining the existing products. What about scaling with more engineers? That's also a problem that we face when we talk about scaling engineering, because with more customers, you have more products and you need more teams to support it. And when you just hire lots of developers, we're still growing and we're still hiring. We need to make sure that we manage the complexity in communication, interaction between teams. And this is where Revolut's architecture and Revolut's internal tooling and platform engineering really helps us shine in this respect. But so in reality, when I talk about how do we scale engineering at Revolut, I'm talking about scaling and all these 3 factors. And today I would like to share with you what I believe are the 4 key pillars to our success. So how do we do it? First things first, this is our secret recipe to success. It is our strong technical and engineering culture. we are a engineering-led company with technology in our heart. We hire the best talent and create the tools and the culture for them to succeed. And with all the different business requirements that we get, engineers are at the forefront in making all these dreams a reality. The second thing is that we have robust architecture. So robust architecture allows us to build systems that can grow and scale easily with our user base, but also with changing product requirements. As we ship products at a very quick pace, requirements change as we learn about how customers use it, and architecture is very important for how we scale in this respect. Thirdly, we also are a strong proponent of internal frameworks. So we have internal tooling, and this is based off my previous experience in a developer productivity and developer experience role. It's very important to have these internal frameworks to make sure developers can focus on building features in a way that's compliant and allows us to scale across multiple geographies. And finally, this is something that I think is the icing on the cake, is that we don't just hire software engineers. We hire software engineers who have a product mindset, and I call that having product engineers. So before moving on to elaborating on these, I would like to share with you the Revolut engineering function. So starting with locations, as you can see, we hire engineers all the way from North America to LATAM, Europe, South Asia, and all the way to Australia. So we are truly a global engineering organization. In terms of the breakdown, so it's about 28 countries with the engineers. But in terms of the breakdown, we have about 83% of our engineers based in Europe. And we have the biggest presence in Poland, followed by Portugal, then Spain. But as Glauber mentioned, we do have a presence in other countries such as the United Kingdom, the UAE, as well as a bunch of expansion countries as well. And in terms of the engineering headcount breakdown, we are primarily hiring backend Java developers. So our company has more than 50% of developers are backend Java developers. The other 25% are split equally between mobile Android and mobile iOS. So we do native application development for the best customer experience, integration with the operating system. Then we have about 10% who are in web, 10% who are doing backend Python, and the rest split between data as well as DevOps engineering. The key thing I want to highlight here is that instead of having a backend team, a mobile team, a web team, our teams in Revolut are cross-functional by nature. So this means that if you join a team, you'll be collaborating with engineers from other functions and you'll be learning and growing together. So moving on to the recipes to how we scale at Revolut. The first one is our strong engineering culture. So as I mentioned earlier, we are an engineering-led company, and technology is what I believe one of the main reasons for our success. Engineers are the ones that drive, make the critical decisions to help the company scale. The first thing I would like to share about our culture is that we believe in cross-functional teams. So if you look on this side, the traditional teams, you usually have a product team, you have a data team, you have mobile, web team, QA team. We don't do any of that at Revolut. At Revolut, everyone that is needed to deliver on a project works together on the same team. So this way we break down knowledge silos and everyone is accountable to deliver together. So we focus on collaborating, on unblocking each other, and having an end-to-end understanding of how the product works. The next key to our culture is our test-driven development philosophy. So we are a strong proponent of automated testing inside Revolut, and developers are empowered or even required to write automated testing. So to test every single use case by themselves. Currently we don't have a very big QA function. Developers and the team are responsible for this process. But we have tests that run every time for every change you release. So you have unit testing to test things at the very, the code level. You have functional testing to make sure that everything plugs in together. You have integration testing between services, and then end-to-end testing as well. So we are quite a huge fan of this approach. Then we are also very strong on CI and CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery. What this means is that every change that we ship is automatically run through all our tests, and this gives us and our developers the confidence to make change and break things in a good way, and be confident that there is no regression. And continuous deployment means that every time we merge the code into production, it's ready to deploy. So we are currently doing more than 200 deployments a day, and I think that is pretty impressive for a company that's operating in a very regulated space. Finally, as part of our engineering culture, we also have a very strong philosophy of knowledge sharing. So we promote knowledge sharing sessions within the company. Developers are encouraged to give talks, presentations, both internally and externally. And this way, we distribute knowledge across different teams. As part of our knowledge sharing culture, internal mobility is also a big cause that we support. So developers are encouraged to, they're given the opportunity to move between different teams to learn about the very wide fintech domain. And at the same time, almost all the projects within Revolut are also open sourced internally. So this lets developers go into any projects such as crypto or travel or trading to understand how things work. Moving on to the next step, we have an amazing culture, but this is just the foundation. We need other things on top of this to build great products and great engineering teams. To do this, one of the keys is robust architecture, because robust architecture is what allows us to build systems that scale, but also respond quickly to changing business needs. And on this point, we are huge fans of domain-driven design. So domain-driven design is a philosophy where you model your software as close to the business domain and business process as much as possible. There's a few steps to this. The first one is called domain modeling. So this is where engineers sit together with experts of the business, such as product, design, and operations, to understand exactly what are the business operations that they need to model. Secondly, we have something called the ubiquitous language. So if you remember earlier, we are working in a cross-functional team with designers, with product owners, with operations managers, as well as software engineers. Very important that we have alignment on the language that we use to communicate to each other. So by aligning on this and breaking down the knowledge silos, this is how we're able to build and ship things, both with speed and with quality. And finally, we also, as part of domain-driven design, it's important to understand your bounded context. So this is, understanding the boundaries of your domain, and this really helps us understand how products and teams will interact, integrate, and communicate with each other. But that's not enough. We are also huge fans of applying clean architecture. And clean architecture builds on top of domain-driven design to ensure solutions and components are modular and sufficiently decoupled from each other. So you can see on the right-hand side here, this is an example of clean or hexagonal architecture. And in this case, everything is built around the domain. So things like what database you're using, how you're integrating with different partners, what you're using as storage or infrastructure. These are things that you do not have to care about in terms of affecting your domain, because your domain is at the very core of the application, and you build everything else on top of the domain. So, this is what we implement in terms of clean architecture, in terms of architecture in general, to help us to scale to where we are today. Next, we have internal frameworks, and this is something I really took away from my previous experience as well. As a fintech company, we operate in a very regulated space, and there are very complex requirements that make it very difficult if you want to scale, because every single product will need to comply with them. So to solve for this problem, but also to encourage the best practices when it comes to architecture, we build internal frameworks, and we have a platform team for mobile, for web, for backend that manages this infrastructure. So one of the frameworks that we have is called Alpha. And the Alpha framework is a tool that design patterns that we mentioned. So the first one is CQRS, or Command Query Responsibility Segregation. This allows us to build different models for reads and for writes, and to scale them independently. And you can see an example on the right-hand side of the screen. The Alpha framework also gives guidance on how do we implement domain-driven design by having clear definitions for entities, for models, for repositories, as well as commands within your domain. And it also gives a framework for RPC and remote procedure calls between service-to-service integrations, but also locally. And then we also use the Alpha framework to meet some regulatory requirements, such as audit logging, as well as storing events for every single change within the Revolut ecosystem. So this way, when auditors or when anyone wants to know what made a change at what point, the Alpha framework makes that very easy for us. And finally, in terms of the internal frameworks, we also have our own event streaming system. So one of the things I know nowadays is like Kafka, event streaming. They're very popular topics, but Revolut started, we built our own in-house, because back in 2015, 2016, there was no tools that supported this out of the box. So we built it in-house, and currently I believe it's handling about 300,000 messages, ingesting 300,000 messages per second. But I think it's either 300,000 or engineering mindset. Some might say that this is part of their culture, but honestly, I think it's such a big deal to me, and it deserves its own section. So for those of you that might not be familiar with the concept, what is the difference between a software engineer and a product engineer? Well, to me, one of the key points about being a product engineer is that we are experts in technology. We like to go very deep into the detail, understand how things work, like Postgres, HTTP, APIs, deploying to cloud environments, etc. We are technologists, and we are very passionate about this at heart, but we see technology as a tool to achieve business objectives. So we're not really constrained by, oh, I'm a Java engineer or I'm a Python engineer, but we keep an open mind, and we try to find creative solutions to reach the goals. So to summarize, they use technology as a tool to uncover possibilities, not to impose limitations. The second thing is that product engineers demonstrate strong ownership over products and their solutions. What I mean by this is, instead of just getting requirements, waiting for somebody to tell you, on a ticket what there is to do, successful software engineers at Revolut try to understand what problem the business is facing and how to solve it. So some of the things might include doing things like competitor analysis, trying to develop a better understanding of competitors and the domain. So, kind of being an entrepreneur. And part of this means understanding the customer's needs and how to solve them, but also applying your technology skills to think about creative and innovative solutions that can be unlocked through technology. The third part about being a good product engineer at Revolut is to find ways to deliver quality solutions, even if not technical ones that we need to deliver. So instead of just getting requirements and how to do it, product engineers at Revolut also give input on what it takes to get there faster. So sometimes you might work with a product owner that wants to set product into a certain direction, tell you how to build it, not how to do it, but what the roadmap is to get there. I really like working with engineers who think about shortcuts. How do we get there faster? That might be not considered by the business. The next thing is pragmatism. So I know some engineers who really like the perfect solution. They like to spend hours thinking about optimizing, about profiling. I think that's very important, but the best engineers I work with at Revolut know how to find the balance. So instead of saying no to everything, they think about how do they get there, how do they deliver solutions now, and iterate, making pragmatic decisions. So not find a perfect one, because perfect is the enemy of good, but make a decision now, understand what trade-offs you're making, ship, get the data, and iterate. And finally, the last one is something that is important as well, which is time to value. So scaling at our speed means having to go to market really quickly, because if we're slow even by a few weeks or a few months, we might lose the competitive edge. Some competitors might be out there before us, and every product engineer at Revolut or software engineer should be thinking about time to value. So how can I get the product out there in still while maintaining quality, while allowing us to capture and validate, capture insights from the market, but validate the product idea.
Boa noite, galera. So my name is Martin Mexia. I am the head of product in charge of the lifestyle department, together with Boon. And before introducing a little bit more about myself, I would like to know about you guys. So with a raise of hands, can you please let me know if you are an engineer? Perfect. Product owner, product person, product manager? Amazing. How about designers? Cool. So we have a little bit of everything. Thank you very much. There we go. Sorry. Perfect. So just a little bit about me. Like I told you, my name is Martin Mexia. I am originally from Mexico, but now I live in London. I am one of those persons that was lucky enough to get recruited from Mexico to move to London. So as a fellow Latin American, I can tell you, yes, it is possible, and it is there. Okay? I joined Revolut in 2023, July 2023, so I've been there for about a year and a half, give or take. A little bit about me. I've been lucky enough, before this, I used to be an entrepreneur. I was lucky enough that the company that I started, we sold it to a company you have here in Brazil that's called, like you guys say it, Happy. And with that, we started what is now RappiBank, RappiPay, RappiCard, anywhere in most of Latin America. And together with Happy, I was able to launch in credit cards and debit cards in Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, Peru, and Chile. So some of the questions that I saw about the difficulty of opening the Brazilian market, being a non-Brazilian, I completely get it. But there are people inside the company that are ready to do it and that had that experience. Maybe a bad one, but had that experience of how to get over it. And as a second one, I play a really weird sport. I used to love football. I used to love it. But now that I am old, I am scared of getting injured. So I started looking for another sport, a sport that could fit in my timeline, fit in my fatness, but also like keep on my passion going. And that's how I started to play foot golf. Does anyone know what foot golf is? Una persona. So basically, it's golf rules, but instead of using a little ball and a club, you use your leg and a big ball. Okay, so that's me when I used to play in Mexico with my team. As you can see, I was wearing my Happy Card t-shirt. Amazing. So getting started, a little bit about what's product at Revolut. Product at Revolut, it's a big part of the company. Not as big as technology, like Boon just told you, because there's a lot more developers in technology. But product, we are that reason and that interaction, that middle person between engineers and everything else. We are around 15, there's 15 teams, 15 products in Revolut. And within these products, there are more than 100 teams, okay? 2 pizza teams, teams like the ones explained Boon, multifunctional, with everyone involved. And this is, and because of this, we have around more than 160 people in the product function. Okay, but what do we do? No? What is it that that product does if the technology people, if the technology person, if the technology is the one that is doing the magic? What do we do as product? In product, basically, we are the voice of the stakeholders. You might ask, who are the stakeholders? The stakeholders for us are users, but it's also our investors. It is also our C-level. It's basically anyone that has some interest in our product. That's who we listen to, that's who we talk to, and that's the people we want to maintain happy in these ones. Part of them, it's also the engineers make happy. Our role is to reimagine the impossible. It's to reimagine those things that no one thought that it was possible and put it into the hands of our users, and that because of that, we create a benefit for everyone around us. Not only our investors, not only ourselves, but also everyone that is using. Everyone that is willing to put their faith in us to be able to go ahead and make our life easier. Right now, I'm gonna give you some examples of what this looks like, so you can get a little bit more. So international payments without the cost. This comes from the start from our CEO. Nick started this company because he noticed that every time he paid with his card, every single time, instead of paying an exchange rate, he paid much, much more. Does anyone here know what is the average, give or take, that Brazilian banks charge you every time you pay with your card abroad? No? 5%. So every time you go abroad and you pay with your card, instead of paying the exchange rate, you pay the exchange rate plus 5%. A lot of people at that time when we were here, when Nick was starting this company, thought, okay, this is the status quo. Anything that is not here, it's impossible to do. It's impossible to create a business. It's impossible to create value for the stakeholders and for everyone else without charging these crazy percentages. That did not happen. No? And now we see other companies like Wise, like Nubank, like us, being able to create this amazing features and everything else without the need of charging exorbitant prices. A second example is peer-to-peer anywhere in the world. I would believe that most of you here know who PicPay is, right? Yeah? Or the world acclaimed and that all of us who work in fintech know about, Pix, okay? It's easy to use Pix. It's easy to use PicPay to pay each other in that part. Can you imagine if everyone like could use Pix together? So me being a Mexican living in Mexico, even when I was now that I'm living in the UK, can you imagine that if we had to interact with each other with money, it wouldn't be a cash, a bill or a coin, that it could be a digital payment that you send to me as easy as you send Pix? That already exists. In Revolut, if you are a Revolut user in Brazil, in Mexico, in the UK, in Australia, you can interact with each other just with your cell phone or just with the QR code. I could go, scan your QR code, send you money. Okay? How I know this, and the first time that it impressed me quite a lot, was doing a free walking tour in Spain, not having any euros with me, and having to pay the other person. I went close to him and it's like, dude, I have no cash. He's like, do you have Revolut? I'm like, yes, I love it. Here you go. No? So, but imagine that. That was before it was thought about being impossible. Revolut and someone at Revolut, a product owner at Revolut, thought about it and put it into practice, and is now something that everyone in the world can interact between each other in a free way. And the third one, that is really close to my heart because it is my product, and it is a loyalty program. When I first joined Revolut, the goal was really simple. Martin, we need a loyalty program for a debit card. A loyalty program that gives you miles for a debit card. Do any of you guys know of a single program that has that? It didn't exist. And when I first got into this one, I was like, they are crazy. They're just gonna put out money, they're gonna throw money at everything, it's gonna be crazy, but okay, let's try it. After a couple of months, well, after a year developing this, because it took a little bit longer, we were able to launch RevPoints. Right now, we are live in all of Europe, and we have around 6 million users. The 6 million users, we were able to get them only in 3 months. We are a GP positive program, so we are not a cost. It's not costing anything to the ecosystem, but we are generating money to the program. And we're generating around 8 figures every single quarter in US dollars. Okay? So these types of thank you very much, but quite long, no? Because it's what's difference? What's the difference between what we do at Revolut that I haven't seen anywhere else in with friends or with anyone else in other cultures? And I would put it in 4 main things. The first one is end-to-end ownership. The second one is the willingness to test and invest in ideas. The third is how the values that we saw in the video, the values that Glauber went over, how they really not only impact us as people, but also impact the whole process and everything we have in the company. And at last, the team. So end-to-end ownership. I saw a question earlier that we hire POs and not PMs. The main reason we call ourselves POs is because we are the owners. Okay? We are the owners of the end-to-end of the program. We have no one coming to tell us, hey, you have to do this. It's something that comes from us. All of our goals, like Boon also said, our goals are not goals based on conversions, are not goals based on product per se. Our goals are based on gross profit. Our goals that are moving the needle. Goals that you see how every little thing that you do, every change that you make, goes from here to here. And I think that's one of the most important things. Another example is legal. We are legal. It is our role as product people, as product owners, to understand what are the legal risks, to understand what risks can we skip, and to negotiate with the legal teams to be able to understand when are they being too pushy and when can we push back in order for our stakeholders to be happier and to have a much better product than we used to be. Okay? And the third product is growth. In other companies, you see that growth ends. Perfect, you deliver the product. Here you go, guys. Amazing. Please make it grow. Not here. We are growth as well. Being that our goals are based on gross profit, on money that is making the feature, then what this means is that we have to worry about how are we growing. We have to worry about how many people are using our system. We have to worry about our NPS. We have to worry about everything that has to do with this. This end-to-end responsibility and ownership, it's what makes us be able to do the magic that we do. This understanding of the whole flow and this importance of us being in the middle and being able to understand everything is what helps us understand where were the imaginary walls that everyone else thought that they were there, when really they're not. Perfect. Coming into the second one is the willingness to test and invest. And I think just for the name, you will see that it talks by itself. We have a whole department called New Bets. That's it. That's all we do. That's all that department does. They listen to ideas from anyone in the company, from engineers, from product owners, from anyone that you want to, that has an idea and wants to make a difference in the company and for the stakeholders, and decides to invest money, time, resources into making that happen. Examples of new bets that I can tell you is crypto was a new bet that was started by someone, and our own Boons and I department is a new bet still. Okay? So, as an example, I'm going to put a little bit about loyalty and how this new bet went into fruition. This new bet started as the Stays team. We'll show you a little bit, but Stays is a product where instead of going outside of your bank to be able to get a hotel, you can get the hotel directly from our app. Being more secure, having some benefits, and having the advantage that you have everything in a single app. When we saw this was working, it was, okay, perfect. Let's put experiences. Now, not only when you're traveling, you can get your hotel, but also if you have to go and do a tour, if you want to take a balloon ride, or if you just want to take a boat or whatever, you can also do it through us. Let's put it there. Oh, look, it's working as well. What happens if we give our users the opportunity to do shopping? With benefits, of course, right? This is always in the benefit of the user. What about if that commission that we're getting from our partners, instead of just keeping it, we give it back to the users? What happens to it? We saw that they kept on coming back, putting more. We saw that people that were using these products were super users of the app, that before these products, they were not super users of it. Okay? Amazing. What happens is following this part of giving back to the user, we also start taking advantage of their eyes and start selling this ecosystem to externals, where we can also give these benefits back to our users. That's how our ads team started. Okay? Trying to encapsulate everything and trying to create loyalty, the loyalty that our users have right now. At the end, all of this together is what we now call the loyalty team, or Rev Points, in which our biggest goal, what we want to do, is to give the users an excuse to be with us while being a benefit to them, while helping them use their money in their best way, while also gaining some points and gaining some miles. Wait for it soon in Brazil. The third point that I want to do here is about our values. You heard my fellow teammates talking about them and what they do and how we do it. But I want to concentrate specifically in two of them. The first one is never settle. The main reason that this, I think, is the one that drives the magic that is happening at Revolut, it's because it's always about why not, right? It's always about that thought of Why not? Why can we not do it? Why can it not be faster? Why can it not be cheaper? Why can it not be easier? What is stopping us from making it a little bit better for them? Okay? If you think that way, and if you put this and if you tattoo this in you like we have at Revolut, this never settle is just a reason to ask yourself why not. Okay? You can imagine everyone, at least the product owners and I'm sure most of the engineers, if that's your way that you're going forward with this notion of why not, instead of like no, trying to find the how yes, and thinking about why not, you can imagine that nothing that is put in front of you seems that hard anymore. What is stopping me from doing it? And the second one is Dream Team. Nothing happens without the people. You heard from Glauber that we have a tough process, but it's a process that's worth it. It's a process that once you are there, you understand why it was. You will be working with the smartest people you will ever encounter. Every single meeting you have, things will come out that you never thought about. And it's not about saying, I didn't think about it. No, you were never going to think about it because there's other people from other cultures with other experience that are equally as smart or smarter than you, that are giving you ideas that you would have never been able to do it yourself. So when you combine the process, the values, and especially the people, that's what gives you the magic. At the end of the day, you saw during the presentation that I am a guy that loves quotes, and most of my life I try to put it in quotes to try to understand it. So I really want you guys to leave the presentation with these three main quotes that I think are the ones that I've been able to find that encapsulate better what it is product for me at Revolut. The first one is from what I believe are the most performing team in the world, which are the Navy SEALs of the US military. And their lemma is maintain the standard and keep each other accountable. Don't be the weak link. Don't be the one that's doing worse. Okay? Maintain the standard. And if someone else in your team is not doing so, grab him, take him with you, and make him accountable so that everyone is at the same level. The second one that I think you heard a lot about it during this presentation is from Elon Musk. And it is that the only rules are the ones that are dictated by the laws of physics. Everything else is a recommendation. Don't settle. Why not? If it's not the laws of physics, everything else can be moved. If it's a law, perfect. Let's understand why was the law made. Why is like the law is trying to do. Okay? That's how I see it. And the third one from Steve Jobs, it's just stay hungry and stay foolish. I think by these three quotes from these three characters, that I would call them, if you put them all together, I think that's how we're going to be able to create magic.
And actually, we are finishing our event today. The last slide that I wanted to show you is this one. In case you are not following us yet in social media, please do that. We have different ones, like LinkedIn is the most important and big one, but we also have Instagram and others. So please join our community there. We have some interesting, inspiring content. Thanks a lot. I think we had quite a insightful evening today. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone who joined us here in São Paulo, and thanks everyone who joined the live stream. We are really happy to see you here, and we will be happy to see some of you at Revolut as part of the Revolut, and we'll continue the discussion in the networking. And in case you have any more questions, please ask our Revoluters here. Thank you and have a nice evening.